Hey everybody, it's Bill Flipper here, and we are doing a list of things you will need if you're doing Amazon FBA or starting. And some of these you can, as you grow, I don't recommend getting all these when you're just starting. Use what you have. The first thing you always need is inventory, and you may want to get ungated first and grocery and those things. But here's a list, and they work for eBay and numerous other platforms too, like the shipping labels. We're going to start, and there are links down below for all these items. I get a small commission. You can buy them on Amazon. These are the exact items I use. Here we go. The first one is the most workhorse you need is a Rollo printer. This prints not just your FBA box labels, your merchant fulfilled labels, and also your F and SKU. I have a picture. I have mine here. So it's a Rollo. What's really great about this is that it prints both. So they had Dymos, and you would actually need two different printers, one for the F and SKU and one for the shipping label. And then for those, you will need um, the shipping labels. So these are for merchant fulfilled. I used to actually use a paper printer when I started, and it is such a pain to cut them all out. And then I actually had to buy Avery sticker paper for the F and SKU, and it would take forever and print weird. So you definitely, as soon as you can, want to go with a Rollo. I know there's some others out there. This is what I use. I think this is what most Amazon sellers use because of the functional duality of it to do both labels. So you'll need the labels, like I said, for merchant fulfilled, you'll need the F and SKU labels, and they are separate. And the F and SKU are the smaller ones. If you're just starting, they go on the FBA items. So, and then this is super important for grocery or toys or many other things, poly bags. You'll want to get different sizes. The most common sizes for me are the medium to small ones. You'll need these for multi-pack grocery. Sometimes I put um, cosmetics in there if you're afraid they could break open, and stuffed animals, or a lot of toys come now open faced, so they're not enclosed in the box. You can actually, the ones you can hit the button or they do something. You'll want to definitely polybag those because they could fall out of the box, they could be damaged, or something could fall on them. It's better just to take the extra time and polybag them. So you'll need polybags, you'll need like I said, really depending on what you do, I think you should buy. I think there's a couple assortment packs where you get a couple ones of different sizes, and then you could kind of guess which ones you use the most. Probably around the medium. I think there's like 9 by 12, 10 by 14. Those are probably the most, and then there's pretty small 6 by 9. I use those a lot too. So we're going to go on. You'll need tape. You'll need tape dispensers. All those things, especially for FBA boxes, they're really the workhorse of it. I like tape guns for my FBA boxes, but I like tape dispensers to be sitting at the table and be taping the poly bags, things of that nature. So you'll definitely need those. There's a lot of cheap options. You don't have to, you can check out these. I think I use a duct tape and things like that. It's like the brand Duck, and you may be able to find many of these items local, cheaper if you go to uh, you know, uh, shipping stores, office supply stores. We have a few local in the area, and sometimes they're cheaper. Amazon has a lot of Amazon brand stuff mailers. Now, some of them, the different generic mailers can be different quality. Some of them rock, so you really may have to kind of check them out. So we're on to mailers. You'll need that merchant fulfilled. That's only for merchant fulfilled, but hopefully in Q4 you'll be doing a lot of that. So those are the bubble mailers. Great for all kinds of things, socks, maybe vitamin bottles. You don't have to box it up. Next is, I have it right here. This is for FBA, a barcode scanner. So when you're doing a shipment, it is way easier to you have the item, you can just scan it, adds it right to Inventory Lab. It's really great. And it makes it really super simple rather than having to manually punch it in or find the ASIN. So you definitely will probably need a barcode scanner. Some of these are niceties where, in theory, if you're just starting out, for the price, you could just enter them in manually. But as you'll grow with this, you'll definitely learn that a time saver. Like I said, when I started, I was using a paper printer, but it was such a waste of time. I'm like, I'm gonna get a Rolo. So we're gonna go on. So if you're doing clearance stickers, a heat gun. Heat gun, this will heat up the stickers. You can remove it. You want to be careful so it doesn't leave a sticky adhesive thing to it. But heat gun is great for Kohl's box stickers, for maybe some Ollie stickers. And when you're doing that, you are going to need, this is super, super popular item, Scotty peelers. So this will allow you, so you're not getting in there with your fingernail. I love Scotty peelers. They really make getting stickers off a lot better, a lot easier. So you'll need those. And then I have an example. I had it right here. Oh, we got it right here. You're going to need rubber bands if you're doing shoes. So this is an example of a shoe I bought for myself, but I like to do two across the side here, if you can see that, and then one across the top for shoes. So if you're not doing shoes, you can click right over this. You don't need rubber bands. But if you do, shoes are very popular to do on Amazon, Nike, Adidas. You will need rubber bands for those. You definitely, I used to polybag them, as crazy as that sounds, and that is very time intensive. And rubber bands work just fine. So we're on to the next one. Scales. You're going to need probably one scale for merchant fulfilled, a smaller scale, a more exact scale, and then you will need definitely, no matter what, you need a big scale for FBA because your FBA boxes aren't going to go on the small, like food like scales. Um, so I recommend two different scales. I suppose the larger FBA ones aren't as accurate as the smaller food scales, so they're not very well at noticing like 1.8 pounds. They will usually just round up to two or just one, or they're, like I said, not as accurate, but for FBA they work fine. Never go over 50 pounds. I don't even like to get close. I like to cut it off at 45 because one time I went over in size and I got a letter and a fine or an email. They cut off me sending an FBA just for like an hour, and you had to go through and say, I won't do this again. I acknowledge I sent in a big box, but I'm sure they whacked me 25 bucks. So you don't want to do that. Get a good FBA scale. Get one. If you don't have to get this one, search it. Make sure they have good reviews and yeah, you definitely want to look for a bigger scale, especially if you're doing certain boxes, certain like large boxes, because if you go small, it won't fit in. You might not be able to. I like one with the string not attached to the FBA scale, so you can pull out the device to read it, that tells you the weight. If it's like set together, like almost like a weight scale, it's hard to read it with the box on top. And you don't want to have to deal with that. So get the one with the string or with the electronic cord out so you can actually read it. If the box won't be over the numbers. So you will need stickers, not just FNSKU. You're going to need, I recommend, you don't have to do this, but I like to put on fragile stickers on the FBA box, so it's not kicked around. It's not, they know that some of the items in there, especially if you're doing certain items, they kind of take care of the box. I like to put on stickers that say this side up. That is also good. I mean, you can certainly write it, but stickers make it so much easier. And you're going to need, if you notice um, this bag of sky peelers I'll try to get, it says do not separate. So they're orange stickers. If you're doing grocery multi-packs, vitamin multi-packs, things like that, you will need stickers that say do not separate. And those are really important because it lets the warehouse know you didn't just put three separate balls in a bag. So you ended their mandate. A lot of this stuff is actually like the prep work for FBA, it's mandated. It's mandated. It tells you on inventory lab, you gotta put it in a poly bag. You gotta put a do not separate sticker on. You gotta put an F and SKU sticker on. So you definitely want to do all those things. I'm a huge proponent of, listen, if it says it on terms of service, even if you don't like it, even if you think, well, no one else does it, blah blah blah. If it's in terms of service, put it in there. Like, you know what I mean? If you're making a full-time income, just do what they say. I mean, let's not, I don't understand people who, it says polybag, and they're like, well, technically you don't have to polybag it's a backpack. No, if it says polybag, polybag it. So because and again, maybe it works 10 times, and maybe one they ding you for every backpack in there. So I just recommend taking that extra time. It tells you right on inventory lab, and there's sometimes where it can be like annoying, like it's a Lego set and it says bubble wrap, yet every other Lego set says you don't have to bubble wrap it. So, like I said, if it says bubble wrap it, because what is likely to happen is Amazon will receive it, they will see it says bubble wrap, and they will bubble wrap it for you at a much higher price than it costs to bubble wrap it yourself. So, I really recommend that. Like I said, all of those, there's links down below. I do get a small commission if you need these items. If you don't, and I also recommend really definitely searching around. Maybe you can find cheaper scales. Oh, one more thing. I missed it on the list. A Fujitsu Scan Snap. Get some sort of receipt scanner. Doesn't have to be this one. I'm sure there, like I said, for all these products, there's generics. That was the one recommended for me. I think it's somewhere in the middle of the list, but get these because it's super important. You have a complete receipt. They scan very quickly to PDF. I recommend getting one that can take the long receipts. This is for especially doing RA. If you do any RA, which Q4 most people do, you want to have a good thing, not just for taxes, but if you get any complaints of authenticity, counterfeit, those type of things, you definitely want to have your receipt already scanned in PDF. You don't have a giant box of receipts you gotta go dig in from 3 months ago. It's so much easier to show, hey, I got it at a legitimate supplier, I got this at Kohl's, and you just already have it scanned in. So definitely, and you can also use some phone apps, but I'd rather have a PDF on my computer. That's just me. You definitely don't need this for a little bit. Maybe the phone apps work for a while, but some of these items are nice to have and some of these items are must have. Like, if it says to prep with a poly bag, that's a must have. And but a Fujitsu Scan Snap, in my opinion, is more of a must have because you don't want to be for people who do RA like me. I have boxes of receipts, and it's much easier to what's great about this is it scans and you can enter a name. So I can put in Kohl's store November 1st. And then I can look at the SKU I entered on Inventory Lab that says Nike hat, November 1st. And then I can know, okay, I got it at Kohl's. I put Kohl's store or Kohl's website, and it really, really helps you find that receipt super quick. And they have software that already has it. It's like ScanSnap software. So definitely it's something people overlook. If you're only doing OA, I guess not, but really keep track of those order confirmations too. So everybody, I hope you got some value from this. We're going to be reviewing different things and kind of doing the links, things that I only use myself or find value. Like I said, it's Q4. And seriously, even if you don't use my links, look at what you're going to need for Q4 because you don't want to be waiting 2 days to get your poly bags and you need to get an FBA order out. You don't want to be waiting, on your bubble wrap, your mailers, because, in the middle of Q4, 2 days can cost you a lot of money. So definitely get those supplies now. Everybody have an awesome week and keep hustling. See ya.